Good evening, viewers, and welcome to NSAKA program. My name is Himba Malambo. Na misengela na mpokelela okuliko nsoko mletu mfuila da mitambula tamila ndilani ku program ya NSAKA. Our viewers, wherever you are, this program is not suitable for the children under the age of 18. Please, if we've got any child, please make sure that they are protected, they are not being exposed to the kind of language which is being used on this program. We are going to open our phone calls as soon as we start the program, and you are welcome to join us using the link on all our platforms. The link is going to be shared on our platform as we start the program. Our topic of discussion this evening is parenting adolescents. This is the topic we started last week. Now this is just in part B etingenamo. Nabatesnayamba manje tufuna tichite continue because we feel there are things that we still needed to discuss. Our parents there, you are welcome. Please come in. Even if you're not a parent, but there are things you are an expert in child development, child upbringing, or there are things you feel we can share as a community just to have the better Zambia tomorrow, or the better community, because the better way we raise our children is how we are going to have a better community or the better tomorrow. So you are welcome to join us on the number that is appearing on the screen, which is 0972-959608. You can please come into the studio as we discuss this important topic. Having said that, I'm not alone in the studio. As usual, we've got our father, our counselor, our grandfather, our uncle. I don't know how to describe. A man who's always been holding our backs, a man who's always been with us as our parents. Our very own Evangelist. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. You are welcome to this program. Thank you so much.
Evangelist, I'll give you the opportunity before we go any further to wish. There are a few great leaders who were celebrating their birthdays the past 1 week. I know two of them. We've got Dr. Nevas Mumba, I think it was today, and we also have Honorable Given Rubinda. Please wish them happy birthday, and also once more pass the message of condolences on our behalf to the new apostolic faith.
Indeed, Himba, what you've said is very, very important. It is very, very important to recognize our leaders in the nation. There's no community that lives without leaders. And leaders, like any other human beings, have got happy moments and sad moments. But for the two leaders, Dr. Nevas Mumba, the former vice president, and the office of Dr. Manawata or Mr. Manawata, and also the party minister for Justice in Zambia, that is Mr. Rubinda. I would like to wish them happy birthday now and forevermore, and pray that each day that comes, they will count it as a privilege that God has given them to live, and that they need to use or to live wisely, for the days are evil. And for our church members in the New Apostle Church, 24 of them who perished in the road accident, I would like to convey my heartfelt condolences to the family and pray that the good God continue blessing them and that they will find the solace and comfort and peace in the Lord. These are not the only ones. The world is wide, and also the problems are also wide. I want to wish all those that are mourning today and the past days that they need to look to God and wish them a better tomorrow and also the presence of God in their homes. And all those who are celebrating their birthdays, I wish them well. God bless them. In Jesus' name, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. Thank you so much. I'm sure wherever they are, they've received those comforting messages and they've also received those blessings and the best wishes as well. Our viewers out there, we are inviting you to join mu studio. Timwatuma phone, timwalemba message, tusambirishanye. Ifwe ukuba pano tekweba twalikwata amano awe. Echo tuyitira ati pansaka kulanda iryashi. Uyaleetako kanono ko bayishi aba baleetako akanono ko bayishi aba baleetako what worked well for them, abaicha ababombele what did not work well. Twabika pamo, tomorrow we build our homes better. Iryashi lya leero nkani etikambaapo leero ni parenting, adolescents, and substance abuse, because we've brought this topic because we feel that at this age when the adolescents are confused, they don't know where they belong, whether they are adults, whether they are young, they are still struggling for identity. There are a lot of things, and they also become so vulnerable to substances. So I would love Evangelist to take us through a little bit. I know we defined and we described who an adolescent is. Those who were with us last week, I think bakiri baleyibuksha nomba nalalombako fye ba Evangelist basupawireko fye mugante gante mdala ali awalya muganta ganta kuti mbo twamba bana mbo twamba mbaba tomana. You also talk a little bit about substance abuse. Viewers, you are welcome to come into the studio. You are welcome to call and ask your questions or share your contributions. Evangelist, over to you.
Thank you so much. Parenting. This is the act of directing the life of a young person towards the goals of the parents, where they want their child to be after they grow. This is a time when the father and mother work together to see to it that they give a certain character to the children or to a child, so that that child can be like them or better than them. Parenting is actually counseling. Parenting is the giving direction. Parenting is ensuring that the child does the right thing. The child is supervised. The child is advised. The child is directed. And the child is encouraged. Also, sometimes a child is disciplined in order to bring that child in conformity with what the parents have planned or desired to make the child be after a certain age, when this child will be able to look after himself or herself. That is parenting. Now, we are talking about adolescents. Adolescents, we are talking about these young people, starting from the age of 15 up to some where they are around 18. But we will draw a bit back from 10, so that these children are helped to find their identity, so that they can know who they are and be able to position themselves for the leadership position, for positions that will give them a name and be able to guide them. So that is adolescence. Now, this is a very, very difficult time of a child, because this is a time when the child is trying to identify himself or herself, who he is and what he is able to do. So, as a result of not having proper identity, whether he's an adult or a child, this is a time when they make serious mistakes. Himba, this is a time when these young people make serious mistakes because they are trying to explore, they are trying to find out what this means or what happens when you touch a lady's breast. What happens when you have sex? And what is sex? Why does mother and father refuse us or tell us we cannot have sex? Because of that, they want to find out exactly what happened. And in trying to find out exactly what happened, they make serious mistakes. Sometimes they become pregnant. Sometimes they'll have sex before that age. As a result, there will be complications such as STIs that they can catch. Sometimes they will try drugs. Sometimes they will try to drink alcohol, consume alcohol. Sometimes they will try to go and enjoy themselves, at a pub. Sometimes at a disco house. Sometimes just at a party. But it is the things that they are going to do there at the party, at the disco house, at the cinema, those things that are there. Those are the things that we are saying they will create problems for the children. So the issue here is that the parent herself, the parent himself must be available. Himba, Emmanuel, CJ, and everyone listening, this is a critical time when a husband and wife, that is father and mother, should be available to monitor the growth of their children, to monitor the behavior and the character. Because at this point, they are trying to form a character. And that character is what will give them a future, whether they will make it in life or they will fail to make it in life. So parents must be available. Parents must be available to their children. It's very, very important. Of course, sometimes we get too busy by being at a place of work or in the shop or in business trying to make money for our children. Remember, yes, just as much as the children would need food on the table, you must understand as a parent that the children need your behavior and they need your character, your presence all the time. They need to learn from you. They need to be guided by you. So it is something that you cannot delegate. You can't delegate somebody to teach your child manners or how to live. You just have to be around. Now, this, as I said, is a critical time when children will even try drugs such as cocaine, such as the hashish, such as daga, manje, even beer is alcohol. I mean, the alcohol is also a drug. They will take it and consume it. And then a lot of things will happen. They will find themselves on the other side of the law. You find your child is at the police station, in the police cells. Sometimes your child will go to prison. Sometimes you find your child has been injured. She or he is in the hospital, suffering, or maybe having, she or he has got wounds or has been injured or has an accident because you were not present to guide the child. It is at this time when your child can run away and be robbed by a man and begin living with another man, with a man somewhere, when she's supposed to be at school. This is a time when your son will stay away from school, abandon school, or abscond from school, and begin to live with friends, and become a junkie on the streets, stealing from people. Reason, the parent was not there to guide. Sometimes the father and mother did not work together in order to help these children. So, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to the great work which God has given us to do. And in Proverbs 22 verse 6, he says, train up the child. Train up. And when the Bible says train up, it is not to train the child, but to train up the child. To train up means you completely, you don't leave anything. Tell them what it is and how it is and how it can affect their lives. Don't leave anything. Tell your child, help your child, guide your child. And you yourself as a parent, be a good example of that child, of that son of yours. Don't leave the contrast to what you are teaching, to what you are preaching. Father and mother, live your word, and your word must be seen to be meaningful in your life. Having said this, I just want to invite all those who have something to say, please ask me questions or make contributions. We have a responsibility to our children and to the world and to our nation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Evangelist, for that very good information, and which is very clear to every parent. Parents out there, when we are talking about substance abuse, we are actually talking about the use of drugs in amount or by the method that are harmful to an individual or others. What are we trying to say? Vana vamala sana ma drugs. Ma drugs etikamba. Us as a team with Shaabula, we are going to talk so much about the social part, and the other, we will concentrate more on counseling and parenting. The other, how can I say it? The other part where we need more of information, more of when you talk about like mental abuse, how it affects the mental, how it affects other parts of the body, we'll bring the experts in that area. But for us, we'll concentrate more on child upbringing and substances just there. So we just want to mention a few of substances that are around us, especially in our communities. Shaabula, mdala muntu gwahilihe.
I must say that Himba, I've been a resource person for Drug Enforcement Commission for some time. For a period of 5 years. Not now, but a few past years. I used to be a resource person in the education department of Drug Enforcement Commission. And I have dealt with the drugs, control and supply of drugs. And I've also dealt with the people who are addicted to drugs, or those that are also trafficking in drugs. I've also been dealing with the condition, having, symptoms or signs that somebody is using drugs or his own drugs. All those things I used to teach. So I just want to say, having said what I've said, I will just give a few issues on drugs. A lot of parents, Himba, will not agree with you if you told them that their son or daughter is on drugs. They think that drugs is for the next door neighbor and not them as the human beings. Just like the way we feel that when an accident happens, we feel that it has happened there. It can't happen with me. But I want to tell you that that is the fallacy. Drugs are actually happening in our homes. In our homes. Now, what are drugs? A drug is anything that will alter the normal functioning of the body. Anything that is going to change the normal functioning of the body, it is a drug, such as alcohol, or such as Panadol, and many other medicines that we take. Those are drugs. And if they are not used properly, they can actually destroy us, destroy our body parts, and eventually destroy us. Now, we've got other drugs that a lot of young people use. I want to concentrate on those that are common. What we call Mbanje, Lubanje, Evangelist. This is one common drug that is used among young people. Why? Because it is commonly found wherever you go. It is there. Even amongst the poor people, you will find it. Another common drug which is found easily is alcohol. Alcohol is a drug which is found anywhere, wherever you go, you find it. Heroin and cocaine, those are expensive, drugs. They are called hard drugs. So those, in most cases, are used by those Mwamba. Those who have got a lot of money to buy those things. But I want to concentrate on Daga, Mbanje. Now, in Himba, Daga, when it is taken, when it is consumed, it goes straight to the brain. It goes straight to the brain. It affects the central nervous system. The central nervous system starts from the head through the back, the spinal column. That's where you find the central, the system. And then from there, the other issue that you find is that it will affect your vision, your eyes. You will not be able to see properly. Your vision will be blurred. The other thing that you have is because of the nervous system, which has been affected,
Evangelist, just a moment. Just hold on. Hold your thought. Let me just recognize the presence of CJ. CJ, welcome to the program. CJ, welcome to the program. I think he's still maybe trying to get ready to connect himself. Evangelist, you can go ahead, please.
Yes. I was saying the central nervous system also controls the muscles and the veins. And as a result, you are not, sometimes either the muscles will be stiff and you are not able to walk properly. Sometimes you begin to stagger because you feel dizzy. You are not yourself. So sometimes the mouth, simple terms, the mouth will be dry. The eyes will be red. Sometimes that person will take a lot of water, drink a lot of water. Sometimes that person will begin laughing, just laughing. Sometimes he will have large appetite of eating too much. Others, they will not eat a lot when they are on those drugs. Some of them, they become shy. They cannot live with other people or mix with friends. So what do? They will go in their bedroom and sit there and cover their heads. because they feel somebody is watching them or somebody will attack them. Sometimes even some of them, they fail to take a bus. They can't take a bus. If they are in school, their grades will be affected. If they are doing fine, they will not do fine when they begin taking those drugs. And some of them, for some of the reasons, some of them, because they are sportsmen, they want to play football better, they want to play basketball better, they want to run better, or if they are musicians, they want to sing better, they want to dance better. If they are wrestlers, they want to be involved in wrestling and winning. If they are boxers, they want to take that, not knowing that actually sometimes they get injured because they are not normal in the head. So, drugs do not help. And most of these people, they even become lazy. They can't wait. So what happens, Himba? When you have got a lot of people that are smoking daga or chamba, and they cannot go for work and work, it means the production in the nation will go down. The country will go down. And two, if they are working, there will be a lot of accidents, either on the road or in the factories where they are, just because these people are not right in the head. And sometimes some of them, they will become cruel and rude. Sometimes they begin to steal in order to find money to buy more drugs. They will sell their personal clothes, they will sell their blankets, they will sell anything that they have, anything that they need, in order to buy drugs. So this means that they can even steal so that they can make money and find drugs. And crime, Himba, will go up because the people will not respect other human beings. They will steal, they will drive carelessly, accidents will be high, divorces will be up. And the other issue, you find that the sperm count will be low. The sperm will be low. As a result, they will not even be able to pregnant their wives. Sex will not be in the home because the guy is finished or the lady is finished. If it's for a lady, when she's pregnant, in most cases, there will either be miscarriages or abortion, but in most cases, there will be miscarriages. So
Thank you.
It's not to play with.
Okay.
So, we as parents, we need to be watchful. We need to look for these signs. Let's engage our children. Let's get into their rooms where they sleep and see what is there. Check the mattress. Check their bag, school bag. Check their wardrobes. Check anything. Check around the room and see what happens. If you find a razor blade, you find the needles, you find the teaspoons, you must know that your children are actually now on cocaine or on heroin.
Not
So
all
these
the
are-
spoons, Evangelist. When I'm going to get shower, when I get sample. Not all the spoons.
Hello?
Not all the teaspoons.
What?
I'm saying not all the teaspoons. Please go ahead.
Not all the teaspoons.
All the teaspoons.
Yeah, but so the issue here is that, parents, you need to be watchful. Know who is your friend, a friend to your son, to your daughter. Who are they? What do they do? Where do they live? What class are they in? What are they doing at school? Where do they go when after work? When they go for cinema, what do they do? So you need to be on guard to make sure that nothing passes your eye. You must know. And at the same time, befriend your son and your daughter. Do not be an enemy of your daughter. Do not be an enemy of your son. let them know that you care about them and that you love them. And let's not talk to them, let's not counsel them when they make a mistake, when they offend you as a parent. No, there should be a session for counseling when they are happy. Because when you begin counseling, a person who is angry, your son is angry, your daughter is angry, you are also angry. They will not understand anything. So it must be at a time when both of you are happy and both of you are working together. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 6 to 11, the Bible says, teach your children when you wake up, when you rise up, when you walk on the road, when you sit in your home, when you go to sleep, teach them. So the work of teaching teaching our children is not a one-day job, Himba. It is something that will go on and on and on. Even when they will have children, when they visit you, you should remind them of the rules that you have. So the issue of drugs is something that we need to understand, that it is in our homes. It can take place at any time. So the very son that you trust, the very daughter that you love, who sings in the church, your daughter who sings in the church, your son who preaches in the church, I want you to know that he can be swept away by the power of drugs, by having wrong friends, including trafficking, selling drugs. They may not be taking them, but they must be selling. So be careful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. Before I go any further, allow me to recognize the presence of CJ in the studio. CJ, welcome to the program.
Good evening, Evangelist. Good evening, viewers. May I apologize for coming in late, having a bit of technical challenges here and there, but it's good to be finally through.
What is important is that you are here, and we are so grateful. Evangelist, just to add on what you've been saying, I wanted to make it clear that as a parent, it's very important to have parent-to-child dialogue. That talking, you have to dialogue with your children. You need to talk to your children. And as we are talking about drugs, we should always know that where there's drug abuse or the other substance abuse, there is always death. Death is always there. Our children, you may find they are killing or they are involved in a lot of things. So literally, twilafisenda kwati kwangala elo aina ma drugs twilalanda tyasangwa fye kumbi aziba Shaabula said that tyasangwa kumbi yalasangwa na mukalamu na mwikala munganda mwenu ama drugs omwe yali tamwaishwa tabaishibala pisha ama drugs but mulekala munganda and all is well uko kwine kuchechi waya mukwimba mukasanga oko bashitishira nama drugs oko bakanina nama drugs kulya kwine kuskulu tulyo tumachola tulina otuchola basenda muchola mulaba ifintu ifinji efyo tamwaishiba mweba fyashi so mufwile okusanga enshila yakushita penetrate ku baana mufwile okusanga enshila but don't forget that as you are trying to penetrate to their personal life they still have the right to privacy. Mind the way you are penetrating into their privacy, because again, if they discover that you are after their bag, their bedroom, you are suspecting something, believe me, it can also cost your relationship between you and your child. So you have to be smart or technical the way you do these things. CJ, over to you. CJ, are you there?
Himba.
Yes, Evangelist.
I know you are in UK. You are in UK, and a lot of people you are talking to are in Africa and Zambia. I want to say that here in Zambia, a child has no privacy. He has no privacy. There is no privacy. Here, there is no privacy. And therefore, the parent here guides the child, directs the child. The only privacy that a child probably, we can say this is privacy, is that a father cannot discipline or beat a child while she's naked. You cannot do that. But a child in Zambia has no privacy because the parent controls. Whilst there in Europe, there are also human rights, the rights of a child, the privacy of the child. But I just want to guide the people here that here in Africa, in Zambia, a child has no privacy.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. Now, Evangelist, I have a question. Do you think all the parents, they guide the children in the right direction? Are the parents really good role models to their children?
No, Himba. I must say, that's a very good question, Himba. Very, very good question. So first of all, in the first place, all parents try by all means. They try by all means to give a good character to their children, all of them. Their intentions are good. Their intentions are good. All the children, all the parents, their intentions are good. But it is sometimes the way we deliver those good intentions, the way we deliver our counsel, our advice, sometimes we become too harsh to the point where the child begins to look at you as a monster. Sometimes we are too harsh. Sometimes we become too soft again to the point where the child begins to direct the parent on how to handle it. Now, a parent must have a neutral ground. He must say, this is my position. I'm not going to be too tough. I'm not going to be too lenient, but I will have a firm hand over my child so that I don't lose my child. Number two, we sometimes don't give good example in terms of character, Himba, because children see wrong things that we do. They fail to pick the right, behavior out of us. For example, you've got a child, and the child, you are talking about stealing. You say don't steal, but from where you work, you start stealing diesel or petrol, and you send your child to carry it from one place to another. Remove it from the vehicle and hide it in the garage. The child is seeing what you are doing. And in the meantime, in the evening, after lunch, after supper, you sit there to talk about the theft. Don't steal, don't do this and this. After the child has, gotten 20 liters of stolen diesel or petrol, then what are you doing? It means we are confusing our children. So in short, Zimba, sometimes we confuse our children by the behavior or the lives that we live. We have got double standards. We confuse our children. Sometimes it is the harshness of a parent that can send away a child. Sometimes it's softness. You are too softy. You are too reserved type of leadership. As a result, that will not help. So, in short, we contribute to these setbacks. Himba. Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
Evangelist.
Yes.
CJ, are you?
Yes, Yes, I'm here. I hope I'm not able. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Okay. So right about now, when we look at our communities, they are full of these bars, these drinking places. I would say almost you find these, and our children are seeing these, and to some degree, it looks as if it's a normal thing. What can we do to safeguard children so that they do not fall into these activities where they abuse these substances? Cigarettes are everywhere. Up and out, come by even Nankanyama junkies, and some of these things even appear fashionable. We see adverts and the movies that are on TV. They make these things look kind of fashionable. How best can we guide and protect our children from falling into vices?
Evangelist,
Evangelist.
Evangelist, did you get that question?
Yes, I did. I did.
Please. Okay, please go ahead.
You know what? Your question, CJ. Your question, CJ, is wide. It is very, very wide, and it doesn't have one answer. It has got so many answers. It is like an octopus. One, where do you live? You know what caused the roti? What caused the roti to be lost? Partly was the location where Loti decided to pitch his home. In other words, what I'm saying here, where do you live? Where do you want to live? Where do you want to build your house? If you find a plot which is cheap, but is very close to the tavern, please don't buy it. Don't. If you find a plot which is in a certain township which is known for bad, don't buy it. So where you stay will decide the life that you are going to live. Number two, the type of friends that your child associates with can determine bad or good friends. The other point is what does your child watch on TV, on phone, and everywhere? What do they watch? Do they watch pornography? Do they watch drugs? Do they watch people fighting? What do they watch? The other issue is at school. Who do they play with? Where do they play? Where do they go for their games? What time do they come back? Do you check their books? Do you check their books to see if the child has gone to school and if the child is writing his or her homework? Are you also available to help the child? All these are things that can cause a child to be lost. And the reverse is the case. That will help you. Attend to the child. Make sure that you don't live in areas ya mtu mwana amakupunza ukabuche ujanki ukabwala instead of just pulvia mawamuru. Then from there, expose your child also to the word of God. Bana wazienda change and get involved in my church activity. It will also help them. So there are main reasons, CJ. There are main reasons, but let's be on the lookout to make sure that we help our children. Thank you.
So, evangelist, where a young person has been found with chamber, okay? Basubira munjira, then vakapokora, vavapedza vavagwira vamanga. And a parent, you've been you've gone to the police, and you have options box or goal and save. In such situations, what do you recommend?
Himba, he was cutting. Could you rephrase, or can you ask that question again, Himba, for me? What was the question? Because he was cutting. I didn't get it straight.
Can you hear? Okay. So I was asking, in a situation like for mostly the boys, there are situations whereby vamugwira mwana enzobema, okay, and kupolisi kuja, there is the option of whether it's bribing or paying a fine, or mwana aenda saving up, I don't know if is it 6 months, I don't know what the term is. What do you recommend in such situations?
You know, when a child, now I'm talking about the law. When a child is found with the, you know, maybe a cigarette of dagga. If a child is found with a cigarette of dagga,
yes.
In most cases, that child is not supposed to go to prison. That child needs the counseling. That child needs counseling. You know, because prison does not rehabilitate anybody. It doesn't. So rehabilitation is by actually counseling a person. So the best thing that you can do, you can even appeal to the magistrate, or if the police will not allow you, you can talk to the magistrate and ask the child to be counseled. Sometimes the law allows that, unless if you find somebody who is just hard-hearted. But in most cases, that person will only be talked to. Now, a situation whereby a person will go to prison is whereby a child is found with 25 kgs of mbanje. You know, large quantities of hashish. You know, that can cause a child to go to prison. Not Musanga Lubanje. As a child should go to prison, that would be too harsh.
Okay. Similar situations. When it comes to a school situation. Okay. Let me just double back in terms of the police situation. There are other parents who would say, anyway, wakapokora bachitevina na eve. Okay. And in a situation where, as a parent, you've tried to speak to your child and they don't seem to be reforming, can prison time help a person reform? Or the best, maybe you find alternative, whether it's rehabilitation centers. What is your view of such situations?
You know, what I said here is that, number one, prison does not reform. a drug addict. Prison does not reform a drug addict. It worsens the situation. A drug addict can only reform at a rehabilitation center. What is a rehabilitation center? This is a center where a child will be counseled in the area of drugs and be helped to do away with the drugs. But in prison, there's nobody who's standing there to tell you how to reform. Nothing. There it is punishment. You know, it is punishment. You are being punished. But rehabilitation center, you are being rehabilitated so that you can live a better life. So what I would suggest that we need more rehabilitation centers than prisons for drug addicts or drug abusers. So that is my way forward.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Viewers, you are free to come in and make your contributions. You are free to give us the experience that you've had, whether with your children or in your community, when it comes to situations of substance abuse. Communities, we are seeing these things. We are seeing children being hooked onto different substances. These days could even whereby when kids take it, something else. So please, number is on the screen: 0972 959608, 0972 959608. That number, or using the if you are local, you can just dial it. If you are you're not resident in Zambia, make sure you add +260 require, and you'll be through to program to make submission so that you can be part of the program. Evangelist,
yes.
Children are affected or driven by peer pressure, especially in schools and that kind of a thing. How can you ensure that your child has got capacity to withstand peer pressure?
You know, peer pressure is like mosquitoes biting your child, like a certain sickness that is going to attack your child. What you need to do is you used to use a method called prevention. For peer pressure, you need to prevent your children from peer pressure. Sit with your children and tell them, and give them a character. Tell them who they are. Since they are special and they've got a future and they come from your family, they are not part of the peer pressure group. They should not be instructed by any other person apart from father and mother. Because anything that does not come from father and mother is actually a danger to their lives, to their future. So it is by talking to the children that is exposing them to good advice and good life. Preempt the teachings of their friends so that they are not actually forced into sex, into drinking, into drugs, you know, and keep them busy. Let them busy. They should be busy in their homes, in their programs. You must give them a program so that you can keep them busy. Sometimes what creates all these things is as a result of the children not being busy. You know, your son is not busy. He doesn't know what to do. there's nothing for him to do, at home. So since he has nothing to do, he is going to succumb to peer pressure. So you need to do something about it. You need to be available. You need to counsel them before this happens. That is what you need to do. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
Okay.
Yes. We're talking about...
Okay.
First of all, CJ wants to ask a question. He wants to ask a question, and
yes, Evangelist.
I don't know if he lost it.
Okay.
You want to ask a question. Hello.
Yes, Evangelist. Go ahead.
Yeah. For me, normally, I just want to talk about peer pressure. I'm going back to peer pressure. Peer pressure is the pressure that comes from friends of the same age group. What a child feels, that is what a child will behave. That's what they are going to do. So the issue here is that we need to be very, very careful, of the people that play with our children and what they do. And I always say the same thing. Parents, be available. Do not just be too busy with what you are doing. Do not be too busy with your office. Be busy training your child and save the life of your child. It's very, very important. So now is the time. Because when they pass the age of adolescence, it will be very difficult for you to control your child. So now is the time. We don't have the time. And it's just a short time. Because from 10 to 18 years, this period is just 8 years in which you need to handle these children. So we just have to be serious and have more time with our children and help them. That way, we shall be reaching out to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Evangelist. There's a clip that I want to play, and so that we could get a reaction from you after the clip.
Okay. How old were you kuti brought influence? It was a function what okay, from alcohol, smoke, what cause do you
CJ, I can't hear you. Are you there? CJ, are you there? I can't get you.
I'm here. I'm here, Evangelist. Just having a bit of connectivity issues here and there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now, but after some time, you break.
Connectivity issues. There's a clip that I was trying to play, but due to connectivity, we seem to have a challenge. Maybe let me try it once more, and then we see how it goes. I hope this time it will work.
okay, due to stop? I just never found any.
Teams, we are not winning. We are not winning. We are not winning with the clip, Evangelist. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. I'm having a bit of some technical challenges here. I hope this can be quickly resolved. I'm going to ask from the biblical perspective or the religious side. What role is the church supposed to be playing in helping in helping to solve this problem of there are situations where I find young people, even in a church environment, you find they're able to touch on these topics. What role and how should the church come in?
Well, I don't know about other churches. I'll talk about my church. My church has got a department of youth department, and also we've got another department called the family life department. So this is a department which handles family matters, issues that has got to do with the family, including, health and temperance, another program in the church, which deals with the, not only drugs, but also even the foods that we eat. They will tell you, you can't eat this food because there's caffeine. You can't drink this, there's caffeine. You can't eat this because it has got ABCD. So the church has got a responsibility to teach its members what the Bible says. Because most of these things, CJ, they are in the Bible. You talk of the drugs that are in the Bible. You talk of alcohol, it is in the Bible. You talk about sex, it is in the Bible. You talk about poor management of your life, it is also in the Bible. And the consequences are there, examples are there in the Bible. So the church has got a responsibility to teach members of the church. So that's what I can say.
Thank you, Evangelist. I've noticed in most cases, you find children get involved in abusing these substances, and parents, for them to discover, you find maybe one and she uncle even hooked a gwideka no gwideka. What are the key things that parents should be looking out for, okay, so that they are able to identify that I think my child has started using substances. Yeah.
Yeah, before you came, CJ, I talked about the same. I'll repeat.
Okay.
I'll repeat that. I covered that. All I can say is that a parent needs to befriend a child, a son, a daughter, befriend them. To visit their rooms where they sleep, to see if there are any indications or signs of drugs in the house, or maybe alcohol. If the alcohol is being used or drugs are being used, so you need to get into the house, and then from there look for symptoms, for signs on the body. When you see, bones, cracked mouth, dry mouth, red eyes, sometimes watery eyes. You see somebody staggering as he walks. You see sometimes the language, or somebody is withdrawn from the rest of the people, or the grades they go down. Mwana nakupeza mawani 1 amba kuferuka monka number 4, then number 10, number 38. Then all this is sign that there's something wrong that has gone. Something has gone wrong. So you need to look at that. Then you look at the friends of your child. Who are the friends? Where do they go? What do they do? Then from there, visit the school. Find out that your child go to school. Does he write his, assignments? So all that must be able to help you. Then sometimes your child might be involved in a crime. So you must know that. Or is abusing alcohol or just drugs. Maybe he begins to eat too much. Isima yabantu bali 5 yakudya yeka. Then na kwemba Beverly after eating that. So all these are indications that something has gone wrong. And then from there, sometimes the child is withdrawn. Safuna kunkana na bantu ankala mu room yeka azivumba blanket kumaso. It's because there's something wrong, So sometimes he, doesn't want to be with people that he knows or that are connected to him. He wants to go and play with the foreigners, with the strangers. So all these are signs of a terrible life for your child, and so on and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. At this point, I think we'll read a few comments. Ruth has written, parenting this type is tough. Okay. Then Caroline says, good evening, Ubuntu family. Very true, well spoken. We need more rehabilitation centers and flexible in payments because most rehabs can only be managed by rich people. It's very expensive. Yeah. I'd say an average Zambian kwani senkaya maybe kuchainama, but there's a stigma with the with Chainama. You know, one video want to avoid of stigma. Maybe more sensitization should be done. I don't know what you think, Evangelist.
Yes, yes. You know what it is that, of course, Chainama is known for bad. You know, when something happens, they will tell you, "Call 9 of Chainama." So that must be actually changed. Let's change, you know, the cards, so that, you know, Chainama can be viewed as a place where people are rehabilitated, a place where people are normal. When they are sick, they go to Chainama and they come back in happy people. So the issue of going to Chainama, it is something that we need to understand, that it is important for a child to for a person to go to Chainama when they are not okay, so that, you know, they can be rehabilitated. Rehabilitation is the answer, not prison. And taking them to Chainama is also healthy. It is good that they go and get their treatment. But there should be radio programs, TV programs, you know, in the churches, in schools. Let people know that, you know, it is not a sin to go to Chainama, and anybody can go to Chainama and come back normal. And the people that are Chainama, who are in Chainama, are good people, except that they got sick because of drugs sometimes, or certain problems. So we need to change that thinking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. We'll be getting into the dying minutes, but I want to ask of a situation whereby, as a parent, you've sat down with this child 1, 2, 3 times. Especially, let me talk about alcohol. These days, alcohol has become so prevalent. We are seeing young people in it. Mongat Nimans 2, 3, 4 times. Mwana aingobwera pa nyumba liberegede. You've spoken to that child, Samvera, and you don't have capacity or money for counseling. That is to go to these institutions. What advice do you give to that parent? What is the best way to help that child? You as a parent, maybe especially when it comes to single parents like ladies. How would you advise them?
Number one, you can use the church. The church can help you. Number two, other family members, your relatives, can help you. Number three, you can go to Drug Enforcement Commission. Drug Enforcement Commission, they've got a Department of Education. They can come to your home and do a program with you where they can be teaching your child until the child is helped. So that's what you need to
do. Well, thank you very much, Evangelist. I would like us to wrap up the program, and you know, with all these technical challenges, I hope from the IT side we'll be able to resolve them so that we could have a perfect program in our next in our next broadcast. Evangelist, give us your concluding remarks, and you can summarize both what we looked at last week, which is the sexuality part, as well as what we've been looking at today, which involves substance abuse.
Especially what we had today, we talked about the parenting. That this is the role that a parent, plays in the life of a child, in directing the child, in instructing the child, in counseling the child, in disciplining the child. That is parenting. And we are looking at the age of 10 to 18 years. Very critical, very different. Because these are people that are trying to identify themselves, whether they are old people or they are young people. They want to find out, are they still young or they are grown? They're grown up. So by so doing, they will try other lives, another type of life. Now they will be controlled by peer friends or the peers. So they will tell them what to do, or what to drink beer, to take, alcohol, or take drugs. So all these are things that will come in their lives. So parents must be able to prepare their children, teach them that that it doesn't help, and that they'll end up badly. So parents must be present, must be available to teach the children, to instruct the children, be available. So when you do that, it will help you than anything else. And finally, prison is not an answer for drugs. Only those that traffic, those who traffic in drugs, those can go to prison. But those who use it, those, they need to be rehabilitated. They need to be taught. They need to be helped to give up so that they can live a better life. That's how it is. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you very much, Evangelist. Viewers, we need to create relationships with our children so that we are able to know when something goes haywire. Children are able to confide in us so that we are able to give them the guidance and they'll be able to follow through. If we are strangers to our children, we are leaving them vulnerable to all sorts of things that are out there. Viewers, we will continue even next week looking at parenting, and this time we'll be looking at social media, the influences, and all that has to do with social media. May I remind you to make sure that you follow all our socials on Facebook, YouTube, Ubuntu channel, Twitter, Ubuntu channel. And please do get in touch with Evangelist for counseling. If you are preparing for marriage, you're having issues in your marriage, you need some counseling. Evangelist is available. You can get hold of him on his number. The number is on the screen right now. That is 0977 527 407. Evangelist Shaabula's number is 0977 527 407. When things are not going well, do not be scared of getting help. You need help. Getting counseling is not a sign of weakness. It is actually a step in the right direction, and it will ensure that you get out of the situation that you are in. Well, from me, Evangelist Shaabula, our director, Emmanuel Nkunika, and everyone who participated on this program, want to say thank you, and make sure you make a date with us so that you join us on the next week's program, when we'll be looking at social media and parenting. I say good night and have a pleasant evening.